Alright, super devlog. So, what's it called? I'm like 2 weeks ahead of devlogs. I've been making devlogs the whole time, but it's like, it's gonna be way too much footage to edit. So I'm just gonna make the super duper devlog, skipping super ahead to what I have this week from last week. So what we got? So choice panel, before it was one choice panel, now we got two choice panels. Wait, I think it was two choice panels in the first time. Okay, so I went 2-to-1 because, you know, I was like, oh yeah, you know, if it's a choice panel, then there should be two of them because, you know, it's component based. And that was more like an object oriented approach, you know, rather than, it didn't really feel really reacty. And what's it called? I couldn't really put other things as like a child to this component because then there would be two of them, you know? And then that would be really frustrating and stuff. So I just put both choice panels in here. Now it's just one big hoopla. Constants. So select red, select blue. So these change on click. And then it also does the Q updater, which basically is the question updater. So this is basically to re-render it. This makes it so you have to like click twice for it to re-render. Yeah. What else do we have? Class name. So they're always going to be Banana Zone because Banana Zone is the main thing over here. The main, what is this called? CSS. But then we have red selected and unselected and blue selected and unselected. So depending on the state of red, it also adds on red unselected or red selected, and the same thing for blue. Here, RAM storage. These should probably be switched just for sake of continuity of how they appear again. So the question update, and now we have RAM storage. So the API I'm using does not give you percentages of what people chose it like you would expect from a Would You Rather game. So how I decided to do it is that I'm going to just generate a random number from 100 and then pass that number as a variable, but only when it's not 50. Otherwise it defaults to 50, and it also defaults to 50, or it starts at 50. The reason for 50 is that I want to make it a dynamic width, or that's what I want to try doing next. So that way, let's say like it's 70-30, then that means that like, let me pull this in. Oh, so this is I'm probably gonna have to figure out how to fix this. That means that like if it's 70% here and 30% here, that means the red will move over to that amount. What else do we have? Transition. For some reason, the transition doesn't really work for width when unselecting. It's a really weird bug. But it does work for selecting, so yeah, look, you click on it. Oh, so 67% of people do this and 33% of people do that. Oh my god. And then you click again and then check it out. It updates the question and it removes it. Or the React term is it unmounts it. But you could just say it removes it. Yeah, 91 would probably want to end terrorism versus death due to car accidents. The random numbers, they're too smart. Speak to animals, speak all languages. I guess speak all languages. A lot of people want to speak to animals. So I'm probably gonna work on the CSS a bit to make the text look better, but what else do we have? Over here. Oh right, we made this a memo. Because when it's a memo, it like stores the value. So that way, even though updater is changing and this is getting re-rendered because it's a child component, it does not re-render it like every time anymore because it's a memo. And then because RAM storage is selectively rendered, and that's handled with the Q updater. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have put this in Q updater, but it's like, why make another function when, you know, these states already work for this? Maybe Q updater just isn't a good name for it. Whatever. So because this is conditionally rendered, that's the buzzword, I suppose, or regular word. No, we don't have to worry about that problem of having it re-render every time choice panel re-renders. And choice panel re-renders every time you select because we're using the select or set select, which is a use state. And every time use state is called, it's it re-renders the component, so that's something to keep in mind. Over here, some of the questions, I noticed that sometimes they have a comma. So what I do is that I will either split it at the comma or split it at the or. And you might be like, well, then doesn't that leave the or? But like, I can't guarantee that there'll be an or. Well, maybe I can, but I don't know the data set, honestly. But this handles most cases, so it works pretty well. Next we go over to random. I just put the CSS from questions.css. It's not like this file is doing much. And also because we already want them to be moved over, just like with question.css, so it's fine. And then we have an ID for percentage numbers, which is over here. Over here. Yeah, so we see we have the question for the numbers, and then we have the percent numbers as the ID to manage. What am I doing? I am not feeling it. Yeah, so I'll just push it down a bit further than it pushes down the questions. See, it's a bit further down. And yeah, I really like how it's coming together so far. Also, yeah, we only need one variable for number, because then the other number we can just minus 100 for it. And these can be constants. We don't need this to be use state, because this is only running once, and that's when it's mounted, aka when the function or component is created. And then we're deleting it when it's not 50, so every other time. And that's what this and is for. So if both of these are not true, it gets deleted. Goodbye. So yeah. Oh wait, I don't need to use it right here. I really like how it's coming together, and it's been a lot of learning. There's been some frustrating parts, but then it's like I have a better understanding of things. The one thing I would say is tripping me up right now, it's rendering. Like, I know these cause renders, so this should also cause renders because it's calling set. And then on click it's calling renders. Maybe I'm just confused by the rendering. Dependency array. So I guess it's like every time this re-renders, this is passed to it again. But if this isn't changed from the last one, but then does it store the value? See, I mean, it must store the value, right? A dynamic width, I'm gonna make a pull down over here, so that way you can have like an about me page and go to the code and stuff. Dynamic width, the pull down, and then maybe just some formatting and stuff. I'm also not sure if I want to make this a flex grid, because, you know, you see this? I think this is because of the way I'm doing things right now. There's absolutely no way this would render on a phone. But it's functional as a full page website, you know. Also, I just want to make note that, like, clicking literally just refreshes it. Like, it doesn't actually matter which side you click. Like, it's not actually going to do anything. Like, it's not going to influence these numbers or anything like that. It's all smoke and mirrors. Oh my goodness. But it's about, like, the appearance. You know, it looks like a would you rather. You know, this looks like a would you rather. 55 people, 45% people. You know? And I think that's really what I'm going for here. Okay. So take care until next week.